Most traders quit right before their breakthrough. You felt it, the blown account, the self-doubt. The midnight question haunts you. That was the old you, the broke trader on the edge. But you can transform. Become the resilient, disciplined trader who breaks through to consistent profits. Calm, confident, profitable. One trait separates those who make it from those who vanish. Not luck, not a secret indicator. Disclaimer: results are not guaranteed. Educational purposes only. Stay, this changes everything for you. It's 3 a.m. The screen glows like a taunt. Another blown account. Another cascade of red candles you swore you'd never see again. You're not just staring at a chart, you're staring at a reflection of every broken rule. It's a specific kind of emptiness, the digital silence after the slaughter. You feel it in your chest, a physical weight. This is the canvas moment. You're the boxer, flat on your back, the mat cold, the roar of the crowd reduced to a muffled hum. You hear the referees count. 6, 7. It would be so easy to just stay down. The punch didn't just wind you, it rattled your identity. But here's what nobody tells you about that moment. Lying on the canvas, you're not broken. You're being asked a question. The count isn't a punishment, it's a choice. You mistake exhaustion for a final verdict. Shame floods in. You start editing the story. I'm not cut out for this. I'm not smart enough. I'm not disciplined enough. You isolate, convinced you're the only one who has ever fumbled this badly. It's a silent war, fought entirely between your ears, where every tick of the market felt like a personal indictment. That voice whispering, trading isn't for you, isn't intuition. It's a chemical hijack of your logic. I'll show you the exact mental shift that flips this. You lose, you doubt, you spiral, short, brutal, punchy truths, but let the sentence breathe. Pause and realize that every single trader you admire, every legend who seems to operate on a different plane of existence, has paid rent in this exact same hellhole. They sat here. Their face was lit by this same sickly red glow. They felt the burn of humiliation. The difference isn't that they avoided the canvas. The difference is they rewired what the canvas meant. It's not a grave, it's simply a floor, a foundation. Now forget everything you think resilience means. Resilience isn't gritting your teeth and immediately revenge trading that pain away. That's just panic with a mask on. True resilience is realizing that giving up is rarely a market problem. It's an internal narrative collapse. It's a story you're telling yourself that the red numbers validate. You're not just bleeding money, you're bleeding belief in your own adaptability. But stories can be edited. The market hasn't defeated you. Your current frames of discipline have. And frames can be shattered and rebuilt before the final bell rings, but only if you refuse to lie down by choice. You take a painful loss. The next day it haunts you. Research shows that in your brain, a loss registers with twice the intensity of an equivalent gain. This is loss aversion. It's not a sign of weakness, it's your neural wiring. Your mind is designed to keep you safe, not successful. When you're down on a trade, it screams danger, louder than any prophet ever sang joy. This is why one bad trade can erase 100 good ones in your mind. You replay the mistake, feeling the sting over and over, while the wins fade into background noise. Your brain is hardwired for survival, not for the relentless arithmetic of trading. It's not your fault you feel this urge to surrender. The system is rigged against your peace of mind from the start. During a drawdown, your amygdala hijacks your reasoning. It's the ancient part of your brain that spots a threat and floods you with fear, bypassing logic entirely. Think of your brain as an overprotective bodyguard. It sees a falling price, panics, and slams the exit door before you can even assess the situation. Trading becomes a blur of survival instincts, not strategy. Your heart pounds. You feel the cold grip of terror. And you hit close, just to make the noise stop. That bodyguard doesn't care about your account balance. It only cares about immediate safety. So how do top traders override their own biology? They've learned to recognize this hijack and step back, but most never even know it's happening. They're just left wondering why they sabotage themselves again and again. Then comes the dopamine trap. You score a win and your brain rewards you with a hit of pleasure. That rush becomes the goal, not the consistent execution of your edge. You chase that high, entering trades based on hope, not signals. When the win doesn't come, the crash is brutal. The same chemical that lifted you now drops you into despair. You're not trading markets anymore. You're chasing feelings. This cycle of highs and lows exhausts your mental circuits. Each crash makes you more likely to quit, because your brain associates trading with pain. There's a counterintuitive habit that rewires this completely, coming up. It starts with doing the one thing your thrill-seeking brain will resist at first. Training yourself to trade for stillness, not stimulation. The shift flips the entire game. This brings us to emotional capital. It's as vital as your account balance, yet most traders ignore it until it's gone. Emotional capital is your capacity to stay calm, present, and disciplined under pressure. When you protect this one resource, you stop the cascade of self-destruction. It's your shield against the amygdala hijack, the dopamine chase, and the ego depletion that drives you to quit. You wouldn't trade without managing financial risk. Why would you trade without managing psychological risk? The framework that never quit traders use is built on this truth. Stillness creates clarity. Clarity creates memory. Memory creates discipline. In the next part, I'll reveal the step-by-step method to safeguard your emotional capital so you can execute your edge without the internal sabotage. Your brain can be rewired, and that's the ultimate edge. You take a painful loss. 2 weeks later, you make the exact same mistake. It's not your fault, it's the method. What you're missing isn't more knowledge. It's a mental framework that turns failure into fuel. I call it the 4 pillars of trading resilience. Process over outcome, detachment from results, identity reframing, and long-game vision. Pillar 2 is where most traders fail. Watch closely. Process over outcome means you judge yourself by execution, not P and L. Think of a basketball player. A good shot is one taken with perfect form, in rhythm within the offense, even if it misses. A lucky shot is a fading, off-balance heave that banks in. Which player do you want to be 10 years from now? Every trade you ask, did I follow my plan? If yes, you won, regardless of the money. Stack enough good shots and the score takes care of itself. Execution creates clarity. Clarity creates memory. Memory creates discipline. Identity reframing. Stop saying, "I'm a losing trader." That label sinks into your subconscious like a stone. Instead say, "I'm a trader who's still learning." This sentence rewires your subconscious. I'll prove it. When you fail, a losing trader thinks, "See, I'm broken." A learning trader thinks, "What did this teach me?" The same data, a completely different trajectory. Your identity is the soil. Plant the right seed and resilience grows by itself. Fail forward, that's the shift. Long game vision. Zoom out to 1,000 trades, not one. One loss is a single pixel in a vast mosaic. Would you quit a marathon because you stumbled at mile 2? The market rewards endurance, not speed. So breathe. Trade small. Stay in the game. But here's the pattern interrupt. Knowledge alone won't save you. You can memorize every pillar and still crumble at the screen. Next, I'll reveal the real-world habits that turn this mindset into muscle memory, so you act right when it counts. Your trading journal is not a log of entries and exits. It's a resilience diary. Most traders track P and L and forget the emotion that drove the mistake. You take a painful loss, scribble, "Don't do that again," and 2 weeks later you make the exact same mistake. Not your fault, it's the method. What gets measured gets mastered, so measure what actually runs your trades, your emotional state before, during, and after. Rate your confidence, your patience, your impulse control. This habit uncovers patterns no chart will ever show. When you review, you see how loneliness or fatigue triggers revenge trading. That awareness is power. And habit number 3 takes 5 minutes and changes your entire career. Treat yourself like a high-performance athlete. The body fuels the never-quit mind. Sleep isn't laziness, it's recovery for pattern recognition. Exercise isn't a distraction, it sharpens reaction time and emotional regulation. Screen breaks aren't wasted minutes, they're deliberate resets to prevent tunnel vision. When you ignore the physical, your discipline cracks under pressure. And after a loss, your routine must include a reset ritual. Not to bury the pain, but to extract the lesson and release the emotion. Top traders have a specific phrase they use after every losing trade, just a few words that stop the spiral and restore focus. There's one phrase top traders repeat after every loss. I'll share it later. First, you need to lock in this identity shift publicly. You're still here, which means you're serious about staying in the game. So let's make it real. Like this video, subscribe and comment the word trading below. That's not a vanity metric, it's public accountability. Every time you see that comment, you'll remember the commitment you made to never give up. And because I know information isn't enough without the right tools, check the description. I've put 2 free gifts there to skyrocket your consistency. The 15-step checklist to use before every trade, so you never enter without clarity. And a risk management calculator to never risk too much again. These keep you in the game long enough to win. Download them, use them, and remember, mastery is a daily practice, not a final destination. You felt it, the loss that shouldn't have happened, then you do it again. One trader blew 3 accounts in 18 months. Each time he swore he'd quit, but he didn't. His 4th comeback wasn't luck, it was a single decision. He stopped chasing. He started waiting. Stillness creates clarity, clarity creates memory, memory creates discipline. That was his edge, not a new indicator, a new mind. He realized the problem wasn't his skill, it was his reaction to loss. You take a painful loss, then 2 weeks later the exact same mistake. It's not your fault, it's the method. He changed the method. He built a routine that protected him from himself. What would you have done at rock bottom? That answer determines your future. He adapted. That adaptation started with 1 breath before every trade. Another story, a part-time trader who studied for 4 years before quitting her job. Her losing streak lasted 8 months. She didn't break down. She broke through. What she did during that streak is the lesson here. Every day she wrote in a journal, not about the market, about herself. She tracked her emotions, her triggers, her excuses. Stillness creates clarity. Clarity creates memory. Memory creates discipline. You take a painful loss, then you do it again. That's not weakness. That's a pattern waiting to be broken. She broke it by embracing the pause. One night she wrote, "I am not my trades." That separation changed everything. She stopped needing wins. She started following rules. Would you have kept journaling through the pain? That discipline is your comeback. It's not the strategy, it's the stillness. The third story is a legend. A trader who turned discipline into freedom. He lost it all, twice. At rock bottom he had no capital, no confidence, just a choice, quit or evolve. He chose evolution. That choice started with a brutal routine. He meditated twice daily. He reviewed every trade. He built systems that automated his discipline. Stillness creates clarity. Clarity creates memory. Memory creates discipline. You take a painful loss, then 2 weeks later you make the exact same mistake. Not because you're broken, because your process is. His process became his fortress. Today he trades from anywhere. But the freedom came from the cage he built. That cage wasn't punishment, it was protection. Your losses don't define you. Your response does. The market will test you. Your edge is in the pause. What cage are you building? They almost quit, every single one of them. The obstacle wasn't the market, it was the mirror. They faced fear, greed, and the need for validation. But here's how you crush those obstacles. Build systems that protect you from yourself. A checklist before every trade. A trading plan that runs on autopilot. Mindfulness before every session. Stillness creates clarity. Clarity creates memory. Memory creates discipline. Practice the pause. The market will always test you. Your edge is in the pause. These traders didn't quit because they learned one truth. The comeback is in the calm. Their stories are your blueprint. The only question left is, will you use it? You don't need another indicator. You need a process that turns discipline into habit. That habit is your freedom. Start today. One breath, one trade, one disciplined decision at a time. You take a loss, it stings. The screen blinks red. Before you know it, you're clicking again, desperate to win it back. You end the day with a hole blown in your account, staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., whispering, "Why can't I just stop?" You're not broken. You're just facing the obstacles that make 90% of traders quit. Let's name them. Let's disarm them. The first one is revenge trading. Obstacle number 2 is silently destroying your confidence right now. Now the comparison trap. You open your phone and see a guru posting a $45,000 day on a rented Lamborghini. You look at your own P&L, up $87 this month, and feel physically sick. Understand this. You are comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20 or their fiction. Social media is a highlight reel of survivorship bias. The losers don't post. The blown accounts are hidden. Your journey is a quiet, unsexy grind of data collection. Run your own race. The only metric that matters is the trader you were yesterday versus the trader you are today. Unfollow the noise. Protect your mental space. Impatience is the architect of ruin. You came here to escape a job, to buy freedom, and you wanted it yesterday. Every loss feels like a delay of your entire life plan. This desperate energy forces trades that aren't there. Ask yourself this hard question. What if success was guaranteed in 3 years but absolutely impossible in 3 weeks? Would you wait? If the answer is yes, you can survive. If no, the market will steal your tuition money. Trading is not a sprint. It is the transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient. Slow down immediately. Then comes the one more loss spiral, the silent account killer. You're down small, you think, I'll just take one high probability setup to break even. You take it. It fails. Now you're down more. The spiral tightens until you've decimated months of gains in a single afternoon. Break it with math, not hope. Use hard position sizing and daily risk caps. If you risk 1% per trade and hit a 3% loss limit, the screen goes off. No exceptions. This connects to the free calculator I mentioned. It's a literal account saver that locks your risk when your brain can't. Your biggest loss might be the best thing that ever happened to you. I know that sounds insane right now, with the sting still fresh. You're replaying the chart, cursing your timing, questioning your very ability to do this. You feel like a failure, like the market has singled you out. But it hasn't. This feeling isn't a verdict on your potential. It's a signal that your method is incomplete. The market is chaotic, but your response to it doesn't have to be. The pain you feel is a form of energy, and right now, you're letting it dissolve into self-doubt. What if you could capture that energy, refine it, and use it to forge something unbreakable? The difference between those who wash out and those who thrive isn't the absence of loss. It's the presence of a protocol that converts pain into a plan. This loss is tuition, paid to the hardest school in the world, for a lesson you will never forget, if you know how to extract it. The first step is to stop bleeding and start operating. You need a post-loss protocol, a sequence so clear that it overrides the emotional chaos. Step 1. Stop trading. Immediately, close the platform, step away. Your mind is flooded with cortisol, your judgment is offline, And any trade you take now is a revenge trade, destined to be another donation to the market. Step 2. The cold, analytical review. Not why did I do this to myself, but what specifically did the market do and what did I do? Look at the setup. Did you break a rule, or was it a valid setup that simply failed, a statistical inevitability? This isn't a moral inquiry, it's an engineering one. Step 3. Document the lesson in a single, crystal-clear sentence. I will not move my stop-loss once a trade is live. Or, I will not chase price after a 2-second green candle. You are turning a messy emotional event into a simple, actionable rule. This is how you sterilize the wound. So when that loss recording spreadsheet stares back at you, filled with red ink and painful details, stop seeing a graveyard. An open trade is a question. A closed loss is an answer, crystallized and permanent. This is data, not destiny. The destiny is what you choose to build with the data. A pilot doesn't bury a near-miss report out of shame. It becomes the most studied document in the fleet, protecting every other pilot in the sky. Your documented mistake is your personal near-miss report. That one rule you extracted, I will never trade the opening minute of a news event, is now a permanent shield. That single, painful tuition payment has bought you a lifetime of protection from that specific danger. What if every loss, systematically deconstructed, actually made you a more dangerous, more sophisticated trader to the market you face? The collection of these lessons creates your ultimate edge. Over time, you're not just a person with wins and losses, you're a living archive of solved problems. 100 small, documented lessons don't create a trader who knows 100 things. They forge an intuition so refined it feels like a superpower. You begin to sense a bad trade before the setup even completes, a silent alarm ringing in your subconscious built from the ghosts of past mistakes. Someone else sees a tempting breakout. You see the subtle volume divergence that trapped you in a cold December trade 3 years ago. Your edge is invisible to them because it was forged in your own private failures. Your own history has become your most valuable, uncopyable indicator. The traders who win think in years while everyone else thinks in days. You've been conditioned to chase the fast money, the dopamine hit, the overnight success. It's not your fault. The noise teaches you that trading is a sprint. But real wealth is built in silence, over a decade of deliberate action. Patience isn't passive, it's your sharpest edge in a world addicted to instant gratification. When you zoom out, the daily chaos becomes irrelevant. You stop hunting the next big move. You start cultivating a craft. Stillness creates clarity. Clarity creates memory. Memory creates discipline. The market will reward the few who can wait. Be one of them. Without sustainable expectations, burnout is inevitable. You're not a machine. Treat trading like a marathon, not a sprint. The sprinter burns hot and quits after a blown account. The marathoner knows every step is a deposit in the long game. Protect your energy. Build a support system that keeps you honest. Find a mentor who's walked the silent years. Join a small, elite community that demands accountability, not just hype. Isolation breeds self-deception. A simple phrase like "I'm sticking to my plan today, are you?" can rewire your discipline. Your environment is your edge. Craft it with the same precision you give your charts, because no one survives the long grind alone. Resilience is learned, not given. Repeat this: I am not my last trade, I am the system. Another: discipline is the bridge between my goal and my action. When you've absorbed those, there's a final truth about never giving up that almost no one understands. Most people think persistence means white-knuckled stubbornness, refusing to change. But that's ego, not intelligence. The real secret, never giving up, isn't rigid continuity, it's intelligent persistence with adaptation. You must evolve your methods, kill your darlings. Quitting strategies is smart. It's data-driven humility. Quitting yourself is fatal. That distinction will save your career. Adapt, don't abandon. The market demands both spine and suppleness. So now you stand at a threshold. You've seen the long road, the compound consistency, the quiet systems. The emotional traps haven't vanished, but they've lost their power because you've reframed the game. You're no longer a day trader chasing adrenaline. You're an architect of a decade-long legacy. When doubt creeps in, whisper the mantra, today's work compounds. Tomorrow's self will thank me. That's the unbreakable mindset. It's not built on hype or hope. It's forged in the patient, adaptive grind. Look back at the version of you who took that painful loss. Now look forward. You've finally become the trader the market can't break. The only true failure is quitting. Hold on to that truth. The 4 pillars, mindset mastery, strategic process, risk control, and resilience, are your foundation. They've carried you this far and they'll carry you further. Will you be in the 10% who stayed? The ones who refuse to let the charts break them. Stillness creates clarity. Clarity creates memory. Memory creates discipline. This rhythm is your anchor. Every time you hesitate, return to the pillars. They're not just concepts, they're your trading DNA now. You've made them part of you. The question isn't about talent or luck, it's about endurance. The market rewards those who persist with precision. So ask yourself, will you be the one who outlasts the chaos? Your answer defines your future. Stand firm. You are the 10%. Claim it with every trade. Picture your future self, calm in volatility, disciplined in drawdown, financially free. That's not a fantasy, it's a reality forged through daily commitment. But remember, trading involves risk. No strategy guarantees success. Trade responsibly and treat this as education, not advice. The dawn always breaks after the longest night. Your dawn is here. You've weathered the storm. Now step into your power with quiet confidence. Every moment of stillness has led to this clarity. Don't rush. The market rewards patience. Visualize that future self often. Let it pull you through doubt. You are building something unshakable, brick by brick, trade by trade. The sun has risen on a new chapter. Walk into it. This is your time. The long night is over. Embrace the light of discipline. Like this video if you're ready to claim your place in the 10%. Subscribe to join a community of traders who refuse to quit. Comment trading below. Not just a word, but a public commitment to your future self. It's accountability in action. And don't miss the 2 free gifts in the description. The 15-step checklist to use before every trade and the risk management calculator to never risk too much again. These tools will skyrocket your discipline, keeping you in the game long enough to win. Use them daily. Revisit the checklist before every trade. Let the calculator guide your position size. They're your guards against the old patterns. Your commitment starts now. Type trading and mean it. Let's build this discipline together. Download the checklist. Print the calculator. Arm yourself for the long haul. The trader who never gives up isn't the one who never falls. It's the one who always gets back up. You've fallen. You've risen. And with each rise, you've grown stronger. The path ahead isn't without challenges, but you're equipped. You have the pillars, the tools, and the mindset. Stillness creates clarity. Clarity creates memory. Memory creates discipline. Let that rhythm guide your every trade. Return to this video whenever doubt creeps in. Share it with someone who needs this message. The 15-step checklist and risk management calculator are waiting for you. Download them, print them, internalize them. Remember, the only true failure is quitting. So don't quit. Keep going. The dawn has arrived, and with it, a winning trader has emerged. You are that trader. Stay patient. Stay disciplined. Stay in the game.